There is no doubt that soccer is the most popular team sport in the world. Throughout Europe, New Asia, South America, and the Caribbean, people play soccer as youngsters and enjoy watching the sport throughout their lives. The World Cup, held every 4 years, is the most anticipated sporting event in the world. However, the people of the United States of America have always been an exception. They have never gotten very excited about soccer until recently. Interest in soccer there did grow in the early 1990s when a professional league called Major League Soccer was established with teams throughout the United States and Canada. In addition, the United States hosted the 1994 World Cup. These events prompted an increase in soccer leagues for children, both boys and girls. Still, Americans today for baseball, American football, and basketball more avidly than soccer. If asked to name the fourth most popular team sport, most would probably add ice hockey rather than soccer. After all four of these popular sports were invented and developed in North America. But in recent years, the attitude of Americans towards soccer has begun to be improved. Many people, both in and outside the United States, believe that soccer is certain to become one of America's top three popular sports within the next 20 years. There are a number of reasons. For one thing, American teams have become stronger in international tournaments. The US women's team has been especially successful, defeating Japan to win the Women's World Cup in 2015. The final match was watched on TV by more Americans than the championship games of professional basketball and ice hockey in the same year. Moreover, Major League Soccer has added several new teams in the last 10 years, so that few regions of the United States now lack a professional soccer team. The increase in participants is even more impressive. In 1974, it was estimated that only 100,000 American children played on organized soccer teams. Today, the number is 30 times greater, with over 3 million children playing soccer. A reason for this surge might be immigration. In these past 4 years, many people have moved to the US from such soccer-loving areas as Mexico and Central America. Another reason for the popularity of soccer among children may be related to negative aspects of one of soccer's rivals. American football has always been a violent sport. Opposing players make hard contact with one another on play. As a result, veteran players face difficulties later in life due to injuries, especially problems with their brains. In recent years, some coaches of American football have said, "I will not let my children play football." American football and soccer have several similarities. Both are played on a rectangular field, outdoors, and all kinds of weather. In both sports, teammates cooperate to move the ball toward the goal. On the other hand, soccer is much safer. The contact between players is less frequent and less violent. Also, soccer can be played by both boys and girls, whereas American football is considered to be a boys' sport. Thus, as American football loses popularity, it seems natural that soccer's popularity among young people will continue to grow. Since the end of the 19th century, Canada has been accepting immigrants from around the world. This policy has had a profound effect on the development of Canadian society. While there will always be side among criticism, today most Canadians agree that the effects have been largely positive. Of primary importance is the fact that immigrants contribute significantly to the growth of the Canadian economy. They open businesses, create new jobs, and build strong commercial connections with their former homelands. Additionally, from a social perspective, immigrants help to raise awareness of what happens in the world. They make the media and the public pay attention to events that take place outside of Canada. The presence in the country makes the Canadian government more conscious of its responsibility to help developing nations, for example. Moreover, as the general public becomes more and more familiar with the traditions and values of people from various cultures, there is a greater degree of tolerance and understanding in society. What do you think that a sick child needs most during the healing process? Of course, the physical care that doctors and nurses administer to children is vital for recovery. However, as many healthcare workers will the spiritual care of sick children is very vital and important of medical care. Caring for young boy or girl's emotional needs, that is to say, providing love, nutrients, and connection is essential to holistically heal the child ease his or her suffering. Holistically, some researchers argue that stories and storytelling have the power to actually heal as well. Imagine the final situation: the boy was injured in the airplane accident and had major surgery. He was alone in the hospital because his parents had died in the accident. How should hospital caregivers respond to his anxious questions about whether or not he would ever be the same after such an accident? A direct answer might be too painful for him. It will harm him and even deprive him of his will to live. Some experienced nurses say that in such cases they often tell the young patient a story. and which characters such as a pony or other animals has a similar traumatic experience. By listening to and sharing the story, the child is given the emotional distance necessary to cope with his or her own personal adversity. The story also helps the child recognize that he is understood and not alone in his experiences. In fact, storytelling has the power to help children make meaning out of their experiences, to face and accept their emotional and physical pain, and to renew their hope. Along face renew. Moreover, those active storytelling caregivers and children can share time and space during which the emotional needs of the reader and nurtured naturally. Nurtured